Om Sarvadharmastapakatvam Sarvadharmaswarupakaha Acharyanam Mahacharyo Ramakrishnaya Te Namaha. O establisher of all the faiths, embodiment of all the religions, the greatest teacher among all the teachers, O Sri Ramakrishna, my salutations to you. Namaste, Pranam, and we continue listening to Sri Ramakrishna's teachings. He has been teaching us on the path of bhakti. And Sri Ramakrishna is a strong believer. He is a strong advocate of the path of bhakti for the Kali Yuga. Sri Ramakrishna says path of knowledge is extremely difficult in this Kali Yuga when we cannot get rid of body consciousness. We cannot forget that we are the body. We cannot dissociate ourselves from this body-mind-soul complex. So the best thing is to get into the attitude of being a servant of the Master, being a devotee of the Lord, devotee of the deity, be a child of the mother. And then we get into this practice of devotion. And then Sri Ramakrishna says even the path of bhakti has different stages. The most basic stage of bhakti is VIJAY bhakti. VIJAY bhakti is the ritualistic worship. These are the ritualistic practices, the set mode of practices for worshipping the Lord. The devotee starts doing japa. They will fix a number of japa for the day. The devotee says, okay, today I will do 1008 japa. I will do 10,008 japa. I will do 1,00,000 of japa. Then they get into other spiritual austerities, like they will keep fast on certain days, they will go without food, they will go without water, and dedicate their mind towards the lotus feet of the Lord. These are all the practices. They will go on pilgrimages. So all these set of rituals which are followed for worshipping the Lord, for worshipping the deity, they all fall under the VIJAY bhakti. That is the basic stage of bhakti. As the aspirant progresses on the path of VIJAY bhakti, slowly the raga-bhakti, the premabhakti, it sparks, it ignites. And the VIJAY bhakti is then, it transcends into the raga-bhakti. Raga-bhakti is where the devotee gets rid of the ego. Now there is no ego. That ego is there, but the ego is that of a child. It is the ripe ego, not the unripe ego. And even the bhakti takes form from unripe, from the VIJAY to the ripe bhakti, the raga bhakti, the prema bhakti. And this is what prema bhakti is very much necessary. It is the stepping stone towards getting the vision of the God. Once a devotee gets to the stage of raga bhakti or prema bhakti or the ripe bhakti, that is the end of all the ritualistic spiritual practices. Then the devotee sees the Lord in his heart. Then the devotee child sees the mother in his or her heart. And that is the God vision. That is how the mind transcends from the Vishuddha chakra to the Ajna chakra and ultimately to the Sahasrara, and the child merges in the mother. Now, having told these things about the raga bhakti, and Sri Ramakrishna had given a very interesting example of how the photographs are captured. Sri Ramakrishna says, unless and until you have that black layer which is mounted, which is covering the plate of glass, the glass won't capture the image. The image will not be retained on the photographic plate unless and until it is covered with that black film, with the chemical of silver nitrate. Only when the photographic plate is covered with that chemical, then it retains the picture. Otherwise, on a plain glass, images may come and go, nothing is retained. And Sri Ramakrishna says, raga bhakti is like that photographic plate which is covered with the black layer. And once the black layer covers the photographic plate, it takes the imprint. The image gets fixed on that plate. Then the image of the Lord gets fixed on the photographic plate of the devotee's mind. And then devotee constantly keep on seeing that beautiful image of his chosen deity. So that was the example Sri Ramakrishna had given to explain how the raga-bhakti, it leads to having the vision of God. Now, Vijay again asks Vijay Krishna Goswami. He has another question to Sri Ramakrishna. Vijay Krishna Goswami asks, is bhakti alone sufficient for the attainment of God? Because Vijay Krishna Goswami feels that jnana is ultimately required. He is of the opinion that, because he has earlier also he told Sri Ramakrishna that by path of discrimination can we have the vision of God? Can we see the God? Sri Ramakrishna says you can, but it is extremely difficult, and that's when Sri Ramakrishna started teaching about the path of bhakti. So Vijay Krishna Goswami still has this element of doubt in his mind, that is bhakti is sufficient or it needs something else. Apart from bhakti, a mixture of jnana attached to it, will it fasten the attainment of God? Will it speed up the process of having the vision of God? Or is bhakti itself is sufficient? Now that is Sri Vijay Krishna Goswami's plain question to Sri Ramakrishna. What Sri Ramakrishna answers? Let us see. Sri Ramakrishna says, yes, one can see God through bhakti alone. There is no need to put any supplements to the path of bhakti. Path of bhakti itself is self-sufficient to have that vision of God. But it must be it must be raga-bhakti, it must be premabhakti, it must be that ripe bhakti. The photographic plate should be covered with that black film. Without that, no impression can be retained on the photographic plate. When one has that bhakti, when one has that raga bhakti, when one has that prema bhakti, one loves God even as the mother loves the child the mother, or the wife the husband, or the husband wife. In that kind of love, there is no bargaining, there is no business, there is no give and take. It is a pure love. The love that mother has for the child, a love that child has for the mother, because child knows my mother is the ultimate. She will do whatever she wants to do with me. She will give me all that is good for me. That is the love between mother and the child. And Sri Ramakrishna says that kind of love a devotee should have for the deity. When one has such love and attachment for God, one doesn't feel the attraction of Maya to wife, children, to spouse, to relatives and friends. One retains only compassion for them. Then the devotee may live in the midst of family, in the midst of his spouse, his children, his parents, with his friends, but there is no attachment of Maya. Then springs out this Maya, gets converted to Daya, compassion. Sri Ramakrishna has taught us about the difference between Daya and Maya. Maya is basically nothing but attachment. But once that compassion generates, once the ordinary attachment transcends to the form of compassion, Daya, then that the minuscule attachment, it just vanishes. Then the devotee starts looking at all of them as the manifestations of the divine. Wife is there, children are there, parents are there, friends are there, the acquaintances are there, everybody is there in the same situation. But how the person looks at them is totally changed. That view is totally changed. That view of they are me and mine gets changed to they are my Lord's. My Lord dwells in them also. My mother manifests in them. They are the embodiments of my mother. With that kind of compassion, the person, the devotee, starts looking at all the people around him. To such a man, the world appears a strange land, a place where he has merely to perform his duties. Now a situation comes. Now it is not my home, my property. No. Then that understanding comes to the devotee that this is all God's. I am just a caretaker. This God has put me in this situation, in this household. He has put me as head of the household just to take care of the things. They don't belong to me. They are the Lord's. But I have to take care. Lord has entrusted me. Lord has given me this duty to take care of my wife, to take care of my children, to even take care of my friends, family, parents. So that is the change, total change of the outlook that the devotee gets once he gets the raga-bhakti. It is like a man's having his real home in the country but coming to Calcutta for work. Now, Sri Ramakrishna gives most practical example. All the devotees, they are household devotees, they are working like Vijay Krishna Goswami. He is a paid preacher of the Brahmo Samaj. The original home is way far away from Calcutta, but now he is in Calcutta serving, doing his job, earning money. So Sri Ramakrishna gives this most apt example that it is like a man's having his real home in the country, but coming to Calcutta for work. He has to rent a house in Calcutta for the sake of his duties. Just like we leave our hometowns and come to a place of our work, Sri Ramakrishna says, even such is the case with all of us. Our real home is there. Our real home is there. We have just come here to perform our duties. When one develops love of God, one completely gets rid of one's attachment to the world and worldly wisdom. Now, there is no more worldly attachment. Once this particular knowledge arises that everything belongs to Lord, I am just an instrument. Lord is the charioteer, I am just a chariot. Lord makes me pulls the strings of the horses and the chariot moves. I am not moving on my own. He is the ultimate doer. And on this particular thing, I'm always reminded of that beautiful song which Swami Vivekananda sang during the first meeting with Sri Ramakrishna. That time he was not Vivekananda. That time he was Naren Datta. The first meeting between Naren and Sri Ramakrishna. And Naren sang that song, Mono Chalo Nijo Niketoni. Oh mind, come let us go to my own abode. Mono Chalo Nijo Niketani. And then in that song there is a line that Shansharo Bideshe. This sansar, this world is like a foreign land. Shansharo Bideshe Bideshiru Bheshe Brahmo Keno Akarone. Oh mind, this world is a foreign land to you. Why unnecessarily you are roaming around? Your real home is somewhere else. And this is exactly the example that Sri Ramakrishna has given. That then the devotee realizes, my home, real home is somewhere else. It is in the country. I have come to Calcutta, I have come to Bangalore, I have come to Bombay, I have come to Delhi just to work. Whatever work Lord has entrusted me, I have to perform that work. Whichever situation Lord has put me, I have to perform my duty. But this is not my permanent place. So that is the message that Sri Ramakrishna has given through this example. After attaining raga-bhakti, how the attitude of the devotee, it transcends from the worldly attachments to the attachment to God. Then everything is God's. One cannot see God if one has even the slightest trace of worldliness, even the slightest trace, even the minuscule trace of worldliness. One cannot get this the attitude. One cannot transcend to raga-bhakti. And then Sri Ramakrishna gives this wonderful example. Matchsticks, if damp, won't strike fire, though you rub 1,000 of them against a matchbox. A matchbox has got wet, the matchsticks have got wet, and I want to light fire. I want to burn the matchstick. What is the use? The matchstick is all damp. Even if I strike 1,000 matches over the matchbox, there won't be even a slightest spark of fire. So first, the dampness has to be removed. The matchstick should be free from dampness. The mind should be free from worldliness. The mind should be free from worldly attachments. The mind soaked in worldliness is such a damp matchstick. And Sri Ramakrishna then tells an example of Srimati Radha. Once Sri Radha said to her friends that she saw Krishna everywhere. Sri Radha was talking to her other gopi friends, and she casually, while speaking, she told them that I see Krishna everywhere, both within and without. Within my heart and everywhere outside, I see nothing but Krishna. The friends answered, why? We don't see him at all. Are you delirious? The gopis could not understand this attitude of Radha of seeing Krishna everywhere around. Then Radha said, friends, paint your eyes with the collyrium of divine love, and then you will see him. To see Krishna everywhere, you have to first paint your eyes with the collyrium of divine love. Once the divine love sparkles, once the divine love ignites, all the dampness of the matchsticks goes away, and then we start seeing the Lord everywhere, like Radha used to see Krishna everywhere. And then Sri Ramakrishna, he specifically pointed out to VIJAY that you Brahmos, you sing one song. And then Sri Ramakrishna said that it is said in a song of your Brahmo Samaj. You only sing that song, you Brahmo devotees. O Lord, is it ever possible to know Thee without love? However much one may perform worship and sacrifice. Howsoever ritualistic practices we may follow, sacrifices, worship, japa, is it possible ever to know the Lord? It is only possible to know the Lord with love, with pure love, with raga-bhakti, with premabhakti. If the devotee but once feels this attachment and ecstatic love for God, this mature devotion and longing, then he sees God in both his aspects. Which are the both aspects of the Lord? His both aspects of with form and without form. And then comes the stage. Once the VIJAY bhakti, it transforms to raga bhakti, to prema bhakti, to the ripe bhakti. Then the devotee sees both aspects of the Lord, God with form, God without form. The Sakara Brahma, the Nirakara Brahma. God with attributes, God without attribute. The Sagun Brahma, the Nirgun Brahma. That is what raga bhakti can take us to. That is what Sri Ramakrishna taught us today. Om Namah Shri Bhagavate Ramakrishnaya. Sri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu. Jai Thakur, Jai Ma, Jai Swamiji.